March 2011. A massive earthquake rocks the world on its axis. The epicenter, 65 kilometers off the coast of Japan.
In Japan, we get earth tremors every few weeks. There's amazing earthquake technology.
Within minutes of the quake, a huge tsunami is detected racing towards Japan's northern shoreline. What follows will leave the world reeling.
Absolute destruction, not a building left standing.
The 2011 Japanese quake and tsunami is the costliest natural disaster of all time, and the reason why coastal engineer Alison Raby puts it in the top 10.
Japan has a long history of being hit by big waves. In fact, the word tsunami is Japanese for harbour wave. And it's this history that has led to Japan having the most sophisticated protection systems on the planet.
Japan sits at the junction of 4 major tectonic plates. It's why the area is so geologically volatile, and why the Japanese are so well prepared to deal with the threat. So what went wrong in 2011? The problems begin on March the 11th. Earthquake detection systems predict a huge tremor with a magnitude of 7.2. Warnings are sent out. Chris Alderson has lived in Japan for 13 years. He's come to expect such tremors as an everyday part of life. At 2:46 p.m. local time, the earthquake hits. With a magnitude of 9, it's 100 times more powerful than predicted. All too aware earthquakes can cause huge waves, Japan has a sophisticated tsunami warning system.
In Japan, when there is a tsunami, warnings are automatically generated, which are heard on cell phones, brought onto television stations. Immediately, people were aware that something was going on.
Along Japan's northeast coastline, people begin to evacuate or take refuge in designated shelters.
Japan had one of the best defended coastlines in the whole world.
The Japanese have taken a calculated risk. Their fortifications are only designed to cope with waves up to 12 meters high. But the tsunami surging towards them is a monster, peaking at 40 meters. The disaster gets even worse when a flooded reactor at the Fukushima Daiichi plant melts down.
Initially, reports were unreliable. We were not certain to what extent the radiation had spread and whether or not the situation was about to get worse or was going to come under control.
Thanks to the courage of the reactor workers, the situation is brought under control. The tsunami leaves over $200 billion worth of damage in its wake, making it the costliest natural disaster ever. For Alison Raby, it's not just the cost, but also the way the tsunami exposed the frailty of our most sophisticated protection systems that elevates this disaster into the top 10.
Japan was supposedly the best prepared nation on Earth to survive a mega tsunami, and yet even they underestimated the power of the wave. And for that reason, I believe that this event is one of the world's worst natural disasters.